Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Dave Boyne. I'm the founder and creator of EventCatalog. And in this video, I just want to show you a quick tour of EventCatalog, how it works and what it all means. So EventCatalog is designed as a documentation tool for your architecture, distributed architecture, event-driven architecture that allows you to document these things and bring discoverability to your architecture for your teams, your architects, product owners, business analysts, pretty much anyone on the team that you have that you need to share this information with. The problem that it solves really is distributed architectures grow. Discoverability is actually can be quite painful, finding things, understanding things, and also telling the story there. So EventCatalog really is a documentation tool. It's docs as code. So everything you see on the pages here are driven by Markdown. You can store this in Git. You can use the SDK to drive some of the documentations. You can automate as much of this documentation as you want, or you can do manual documentation. It's really up to you to define the workflow that you want in your organization to get the value out of EventCatalog. But what I'm going to do now is just show you a quick walkthrough of EventCatalog, what you kind of expect from a typical catalog. It's really, again, up to you, the features and things that you want to use from this product. So first of all, here is the documentation landing page. You can customize landing pages if you want. This is the one you get out of the box. As you can see here, I've customized the sidebar too. So I have a core domain. This is the e-commerce domain. So the idea here really is this is an e-commerce platform. I can click inside any of these things and start to dive deeper. So at very high level, I can click on the e-commerce domain and we can see here that we have this page here and we have this stuff down here. So everything you see on here is driven by Markdown and also components. You can create your own components, but EventCatalog also comes with components out of the box. So we have the e-commerce domain, we have this grid element here. But the whole idea really is from a high level, we can tell our users, okay, this is the e-commerce domain, this is how it works. We can bring our own Markdown, our own plant UML, diagrams into EventCatalog, and we can basically start to tell the story. On the left-hand side here, you'll see a bunch of other things. For example, we have ubiquitous language. If you're into domain-driven design, this is just the language that is used within this particular domain. That is optional. But you can start to navigate this thing around and we can start to see things like this, which is the whole visualization of this domain. And we can kind of look here, click on things and get a better understanding of how these events and how these things actually connect together. For example, this domain has subdomains, and we also have events coming from here in architecture decision records. EventCatalog, so every page is similar. So if we go to let's say a service, so a service, think of a service as a microservice or something else, some code in your architecture. This is a .NET service, for example, that does a particular job. This particular job sends and receives messages, commands, queries, or events, and it also saves information to database and things like that. So again, very similar to the domain. We have some Markdown here that we've configured, and then you can see down here is the architecture diagram for this domain itself, and we can see the messages that it's sending and receiving. If we click on map, we can see this is just the order service here. We can see the order service, if we zoom in, it's sending and publishing these events downstream, like the order confirmed, and that's going to a particular channel. Now, channels, a way to think of that is like a Kafka channel or event broker or bus or something like that, and it routes to the channel and goes to a particular location. Channels are optional. It's really up to you what you decide to do and what you decide to model here in your documentation. But the key really here to understand is everything you're seeing is driven by Markdown, okay? So that's important because you can also automate a lot of this or also use AI to help you write a lot of this and start capturing some of this information. Because the services also support like GraphQL, OpenAPI, and Async API, so you can document these. This is the OpenAPI spec for this particular service, and here's the Async API spec. EventCatalog also allows you to automate a lot of this stuff from specifications, from different sources of truth, from different integrations, schema registries, and things like that. Talking about schemas, EventCatalog also comes with a schema kind of viewer here. So you can document any schema. It's protocol agnostic. You can document Avro schemas, JSON schemas, protobuf schemas. We can click on these and we can kind of see this is a particular schema, different versions of the schema, and we can also look at example usage and also have an API to get the schema if we want to for any integration tests and things like that. We can document all sorts of things, and I won't go into them all, but the whole idea really is to EventCatalog focuses on software primitives. So things like channels, data products, data stores, which is like databases. The typical one you'll probably start with as you use EventCatalog is probably events and services. Think of service, as I said, as microservice. And events as we have events, commands, and queries as messages. And the whole idea really is you just document these things and you say, okay, this service here, let's say the notification service is responsible for publishing these messages, it consumes these messages, and it also reads and writes from these data stores and things like that. Over time, your event catalog may grow, different teams come involved, there are different topologies and things you can set up. You can also bring custom documentation, any documentation into event catalog if that's the kind of thing you want to do. You can also assign owners and ownership and teams to things, so you can at a glance see the teams and everything you're using here. So that's just a kind of a brief overview. Remember, everything is driven by markdown files and everything is open source. Most things are open source. As you can see here, you can go to eventcatalog.dev to see that. So when you start out with a new catalog, it will give you some things out of the box and you can just have a play around. One other thing that might be quite useful is also we allow documenting of flows. Now, flows are an interesting idea. It allows you to document end-to-end business flows from A to Z. So if you think about things like when a user checks out from A and goes through your process and something happens at the end. These are typically kind of workflows. They can now orchestration flows or choreography flows. They can now document an event catalog from A to Z, and we can go through these and we can walk through these with our engineers, with our product people, and actually understand how things are actually going from end to end. And then we can like right click on these and dive deeper if that's the kind of thing that we want. There are a bunch of other features. I highly recommend just looking at eventcatalog.dev to get up to speed. We have like learning criteria on there, tutorials, and just getting started videos on there. We also have like AI support, MCP support. So everything you document here can be accessed through MCP, which allows your developers just to get up to speed. So I hope that's just a quick update and a quick brief navigation around Event Catalog, what it can do and what it can bring you. If you've got any questions at all, we have a Discord server, so hop onto there. I'm normally on there, so just feel free to reach out and ask any questions. And yeah, happy cataloging, and I hope this demo helped you.